specifically about something which is called an Amazonian geoglyph. I don't know if anybody knows what a geoglyph is, but basically a geoglyph is a large design or motif produced on the ground, typically formed by clastic rocks or similarly durable elements of the geography, things like stones, fragments, gravel, earth, that sort of thing. A positive geoglyph is formed by the arrangement and alignment of materials on the ground in a manner akin to petriforms, whilst the negative geoglyph is formed by removing patinated clasts to expose unpatinated ground in a manner akin to petroglyphs. If any of you know what that means, awesome. So basically, in layman's terms, a geoglyph is a pattern that is found on the surface of the ground, which can come in any shape, like square, circle, just lines, and it's very difficult to understand how and why they exist. But basically, there have been some that have been found in the Amazon rainforest, and I am going to read to you what they are and etc. The history and stuff. Okay. I'm trying to think if I can show you. I don't know if you'll be able to see. You can see there. You can see a square and a square on the inside as well. The size of that is absolutely massive. You can see a path running through it, and if you can think of that path and then think of the size of a human being, that is probably big enough to fit a village inside of. So we're talking on a big scale there. Look at that, I'm just going to stop all that wires now. Okay. So, this is taken from an article which is entitled Strange Geoglyphs Discovered Beneath Clear-Cut Amazon. And because they're difficult to see from the ground because of their sheer scale, most of them went unnoticed by people living locally in the Amazon rainforest. Excuse me. Okay. With the aid of satellite imagery from Google Earth, soon archaeologists in Brazil will be finding more and more large geometric designs carved into the ground in the Amazon rainforest. The geoglyphs are believed to have been sculpted by ancient people from the Amazon region around 700 years ago, though their purpose is still unknown. So far, nearly 300 geoglyphs have been identified, but with advances in satellite imaging and increased clearing of the jungle coverage, scientists are hoping to discover many more strange geometric designs. One of the factors that contributed to so many geoglyphs being undetected prior to the aid of satellites is their enormous scale. According to a leading geoglyph scientist, Alceu Ramsey, his latest discoveries, 5 sets of geometric shapes with circles, squares and lines, can measure more than a mile from one extreme to another. And a quote from him, "You do not see them in the field. There is a difference in the colour of grass, but it's very thin. If there were no satellite images, there would be no possibility of making new discoveries." Because they've been so hard to find, the first geoglyphs weren't discovered until the 1970s. Since then, scientists have been trying to piece together what significance they may have had to ancient Amazonian this may have been, there's one thing that's certain. The ancient civilizations of the rainforest were more numerous and sophisticated than previously imagined. According to a report from Globo, the new marks were only discovered because the jungle coverage had been removed due to deforestation in the Amazon. These structures are deep, with grooves as large as 12 metres wide and 4 deep, but it is believed that they were built when jungle abounded, which would make their construction all the more difficult. Ramsey seems to open to other possibilities. The world may never know what drove these. Was it really forest when the drawings were built, or did they occupy this area at a time of climate crisis like that of 2005? The world may never know what drove these ancient civilizations to carve the enormous geoglyphs, like the ones found recently using Google Earth. But if it takes more clear cutting in the Amazon rainforest to find out the answer, hopefully it will always remain a mystery. Okay, and I've got a little bit of information on my home as well. Strange lines are being uncovered in the Amazon rainforest. Environmental campaigners and scientists believe that the forest being cut down was virgin, but due to these strange earthworks appearing all over the place on land that has been cleared, it seems fact that their claims aren't true and a major rethink is afoot. Some of the works are estimated to be plus over 700 years old, and there is a mystery to their origin. And there's just a load of pictures. This seems quite interesting. This is a bit of more information about geoglyphs. This is actually entitled Geoglyphology, so this is the actual study of geoglyphs. Over the past several years, the Farham Foundation has been involved in the research and development of a new and emerging science. That science has been named geoglyphology. You will realise as you scan through the website that this science has the power to rewrite history as we know. During our research, it was discovered that down through time, civilizations have secretly passed down a legacy of geoglyphs on the shores and islands of land masses around the world. A well-known example of this is the Nazca Lines, Nazca, in Peru. The reason the Nazca Lines and other geoglyphs were not discovered until recently is that they are too large to be seen from the ground, as is with most geoglyphs. Until now, the majority of the information available to the archaeologist is gleaned from the information recovered at the dig site. We discovered that a great majority of the ancient architectural, monolithic and geoglyphic structures built around the world had something in common. That commonality is that the structures were aligned in such a manner that the study of their linear alignment unveils a much larger story and immensely expands the data available to the archaeologist and the related disciplines. Extensive research on these geoglyphs, which exist on every continent and many islands around the world, have shown that, no matter when or where they were constructed, they all tie into a worldwide network of civilizations that have progressed, prospered, and suffered setbacks for millennia. These geoglyphs range in age from the 10,000-year-old Yonaguni Pyramid in Japan to the 250-year-old streets of Washington, D.C. Data recovered from these studies includes obtaining the geographical range of the culture being studied, the level of sophistication that existed in relation to their understanding of mathematics and geometry, their knowledge of world geography, True north is used because as soon as you begin tracing a line away from the source, magnetic deviation becomes a factor. Magnetic deviation exists all over the world and renders a compass useless over long distances because of the error it causes in a magnetic bearing. True headings are derived from celestial navigation, GPS and computer software. These methods only produce true headings which are not distorted by magnetic deviation. Radials are bearings after they leave the source. At the source bearings, magnetic north, and radials, true north, are the same because no distortion has taken place by moving away from the source. Once a direction away from the source is plotted, it must be plotted on a true course, not a magnetic course, in order to avoid magnetic deviation. Geoglyphs, for the most part, are so large they can only be recognised from the air. The civilizations that placed these signposts either had the capability of flight or had a mathematical ability well beyond anything we could have imagined for the time. I have visited some of the sites on the ground, and even knowing they are there, I find them difficult to locate. The glyphs take on several forms. Some take the form of a triangle, others are circles, and there may be one or more lines touching or crossing each other. No matter what a shape a glyph takes, any line can be a pointer to a place important to the creator of the glyph. Below are a few examples of how bearings are derived. I've got a few pictures I want to show you. After some study, it was discovered that many mediums were used to construct geoglyphs. These included the arrangement of stones, the planting of different colours of flora, and the sterilising of the ground, the scraping of the earth to reveal a different colour underneath, as in Nazca, the changing of natural geological features with the features modified or supplemented, the wall alignment of structures in Corral, and the alignment of monoliths at Stonehenge, the alignment of pyramids all across the world, the creation of stone and earth mounds, and more. For instance, the mounds of the Mississippian Indians in the central US have been proven to be geoglyph pointers. Ancient archaeological locations, many previously unknown, were identified throughout geoglyphology. The accuracy of the calculations of the ancient peoples is incredible. The GPS accuracy of the software program is seldom more accurate than the orientations of the ancients. By calculating the bearing at a source, one can follow the extended radial for sometimes thousands of miles and locate a related glyph with little or no error. The percentage of success in locating a verifiable glyph or ancient location using each of the extended radials of any one glyph was variable, but ran in the range of 75 to 100%. Much of the lack of success was attributed to urbanisation, overgrowth and vandalism, etc. Surprisingly, based on the glyphs that were found, there seems to be an incredible amount of durability built into the geoglyphs. It appears that the meteorological conditions at any given site were considered in determining the materials used. At sites where rain and wind are seldom seen, most glyphs were made of earth. At locations that encountered rain and wind, stones and rock were used. Research results indicate that geoglyphology holds great promise in expanding our understanding of the civilizations that have preceded us. Though the tireless efforts of many devoted archaeologists and new methods of discovery, the world is on the cusp of a new awakening. To some, this paradigm change will be quite uncomfortable. During any changes to our current perceptions, it is suggested that we look to the benefits rather than retreating from the changes. Let us embrace the changes as a window to greater understanding and opportunities rather than a threat to the protocols of the past. they are fascinating. It's intriguing, completely intriguing. As ever, thank you for